Okay.
I think we're live.
You think we're live?
Yep, we are live. Welcome back to the Change Position. I am Melissa Katie, the Challenge Doctor, with my co-host, Dr. Kevin Cuccaro. And we are here with our Saturday salutations, as we try to do religiously every week, to say hi and to share what's happened in the Change Position podcast or community, and perhaps what's coming up, to just whet your appetite for the future episodes. Are you doing okay, Kevin? Or are you still?
I'm doing okay. No, I told you there's these like auto captions I'm seeing, and they're like crazy,
throwing you off.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Yeah, it was a little weird.
Well, why don't I pull up what we had this past week? And actually, we did some replays because they were such amazing episodes from our, I'll call it our first season, first 100 episodes. And one of them that released this past Sunday was with the amazing Dr. Eric Tate, who's out of Houston, internal medicine. And he gives, the title was A Black Physician's View Beyond George Floyd, which of course there's a lot of discussion and interesting introspection of our country and where we live, and some of the things that have been going on that just never seem to go away. It was a very good, insightful conversation from a different perspective. And so I think revisiting that episode, and I don't do any justice to the introduction that Kevin, you put in at the beginning of reminding us why episode 8 was such a great episode 8 with Dr. Tate. Yeah. And so, yeah, that was awesome. And of course, we have Stephanie Pearson was a replay from on Thursday, was released from episode 65. She's OB-GYN physician who became disabled by an injury during her practice and has become a disability insurance expert based on a lot of the lessons she had to learn the hard way, and is out there to look out for many other physicians, including some friends of mine that she's been a great advocate for, to help us understand a little bit more about that. But it's really about her story, and that was, I think, a critical part to understand why she's so passionate about what she does and why she does it. So any comments on that, Kevin?
No, great episodes. And it's going to remind me when we get to our favorite things of the week, what I'm going to say. But yeah, those are fantastic episodes. And I think in particularly, I mean, we did it for a couple of reasons, right? One was they're great episodes, and we need to highlight some of those older episodes so that they don't get lost in the shuffle. The other thing was Thanksgiving. Yes. And we took a little break here, which I think is this is the first break we've taken
ever.
Yeah, since June whatever of 20 whatever that was, 2020, which is insane. But yeah, anyway,
we deserve breaks.
We deserve breaks, and those are important episodes that to highlight for the reasons that are in the introductions, because we did re-record some introductions for those. We've had a lot going on in the country. It seems like we always have a lot going on in the country. And I think if there's anything that people can get out of this podcast, no matter who you are, physician ally, is take some time to think about how you think, and rather than knee-jerk reactions, and getting an appreciation for other people's backgrounds, and that it's not the same for everybody out there. And so what you think may be true, or that is true based on your experience, may not be true. And it's certainly not everybody else's experience. So anyway, that's my public service announcement for the week.
Yeah. And my last comment to that is that sometimes we just move too fast. I'm included in that, and where sometimes slowing down to think about things and to be aware about things is one of the biggest challenges for some of us. So
for all of us, it's just you're either aware of it or you're not aware of it. And I'd much rather be aware of the problem than unaware of the problem.
Right. Instead of the knee-jerk reactions, we can, as what is it, Malcolm Gladwell, is that the right author? Thinking?
No, Daniel Kahneman.
What was the name?
It's Daniel Kahneman.
Oh, sorry, Daniel Kahneman. I'd spell his name K-A-H. Is that right?
Yeah, Kahneman.
Kahneman.
Yes. Yeah.
I got to finish the book. It's a really thick book. I have not finished that one.
Psychologist who won the Nobel Prize in economics.
It's an amazing thought provoker. I'll just put it that way. and
Yeah.
it's tedious in its writing, but it's well worth it. And I need to sit more in my sunroom to finish it out. But I've been enjoying the nature.
I told you it took me 9 months to finish that book.
Yeah.
And I actually have his newest book called Noise, and I haven't even started it yet because I get these books, and it's been really weird. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like a couple years ago, well, I'd say over the last like 8 years, I would just like be very aggressive and read this stuff and be very aggressive with my reading. I couldn't read a whole lot because I would have to process it. So I'd read like sometimes a couple pages, sometimes a chapter if I was lucky, and then I have to step back and then kind of process the information. But this year it's been really hard for me to read. And I think part of it is there's a little piece of me that just knows how much that takes. Like, and it's like scared of the commitment. It's like, if you start that, what's going to happen? You're going to read like 2 pages and then you're going to be like, and I don't have as much thinking time anymore. So yeah.
That's the hard part, the processing part, but we all need better processing.
And it's more work than people think,
Yes.
Spending time, like making time that you can actually think, is probably something not a lot of us schedule to do or even think about how difficult it is, but it's really important. Like just have thinking time. But anyway.
Agreed. Well, speaking of thinking about what we're grateful for, you had a lovely time with your family. I know I was able to see my family as well. Is there anything you want to share about things that you're grateful for, or some reflections on this past week or two?
Well, I'll always be grateful for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is our claimed holiday in our household. This was our 15th year of holding it, and that includes includes the COVID blip year. We didn't have anybody over for that one, but it's been 15 years from our very first Thanksgiving that we ever had. That's always fun. It was the first year that I didn't cook a turkey, because turkey got voted off the island when my family was together in the summertime. We had an awesome menu. It's just always fun. So yeah, I love Thanksgiving. And I can't remember if I've told the story about my mom and Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I told it this year because I wanted her to know about it. But it is probably my favorite holiday of the year, because it's simply about people getting together with those you love and sharing, just being a very appreciative of everybody. There's really not a lot of commercialization behind it, like for Christmas. It's just a great holiday. Like we should, every culture should have a Thanksgiving.
Yeah, quality time without
time.
the overlay of consumerism and gifts.
Yeah. So how about you?
Yeah, so we had a very brief trip. I only had a certain number of days available between work, so but we did make it up to the Dallas area, and it was very quiet. We didn't have a lot of different people outside of our own nuclear family visiting, so of course there's plenty of food to be had. Watch a couple movies, so pretty low key and very nice. And so of course we always bring our cat along, so it gets to be another household temporarily and shifts back to ours. But no, it was great. And I think of course the weather was working with us for the travels. That was nice. But yeah, I'm just thinking of, sometimes it's good to be grateful for not a lot of drama, not a lot of catastrophes or bad luck. And sometimes we aren't always grateful for things that are not present. But sometimes gratitude for, not having bad things, just a very pleasant, beautiful holiday without any drama is nice. So
Absolutely.
Simple. Yeah.
All right. So what was your favorite thing for the week, if you had to, or something that you were going to be appreciative for other than the holiday?
I know my stuff seems so lame probably to some people. But a lot of evergreen plants I discovered that I can put in sun or shade to go along a dry bed that I bought out our Natural Gardener, which is like an organic gardening place. So I found those, so like evergreen all year, but then during the spring they have like these purple blue flowers. They're called big blue liriope. I said it wrong, I said liriope. I always do that. So I planted 20 of those. I have 30 more I need to but buy from the Natural Gardener. So don't go there and buy them. I want them. So that was kind of a cool plant to find, because it's like a perfect border. And just some nice walks in the neighborhood with my husband. Those are always nice. So simple pleasures is I guess my focus there.
Simple pleasures. That's
Yep.
pretty good. Well,
And
mine
you?
came out because we recorded some episodes with the guest, and it just made me very appreciative of this podcast. And like I think we even said it, we don't have nobody listening, at least we get good conversations out of it. And I hope if you are listening, you're getting good conversations out of it. But we've just met so many amazing people. And yeah, it is. I just am really appreciative of that the opportunities to listen, connect, hear. I was thinking about Eric Tate's episode that we replayed, and we've had him back multiple times. I'm like, man, I'd love to talk to Eric again, because that's the hardship about this podcast, is we connect with so many amazing people. And all I can think about every time after we're done is like, oh, I just want to keep this conversation going. So how, I don't know if we got to schedule them for come back, or we have to have like some sort of alumni something.
Gathering.
Yeah. But yeah, the connection there. And then I want to be a little bit more cognizant in reaching out and seeing how people are, because I just being very appreciative of the people we've met through this podcast.
Yeah. And feel free to holler or comment. And, if you are a guest in the past, let us know if there's something that you just really want to talk about. We'll be happy to bring you on for that. But yeah, I think it is nice to keep in touch with all of our guests. And it is a blessing to be able to meet people from around the world and hear their stories. And on some levels, just find some commonalities and whether it's frustrations or hopes. And I think it really helps people have a little more hope and realize we're not alone. And even though we're like a physician focused kind of situation here, I feel like there's so many things that are relevant to any, area in life or industry or whatever. There's commonalities in our human existence.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you want to take us out?
Sure. Well, thank you all for joining us today on Saturday Salutations at The Change Physician. We do these every Saturday, unless we happen to be on holiday like we were last week for the very first time. So it's still mind blowing to me. But if you are interested in learning more, you can go to thechangephysician.com and join us there, whether you're a physician or a physician ally. And until next time, stay well.
Take care.